In this video, we're going to take a closer look at the Solution Explorer, which is probably the most used window, with the exception of the main area, when you use Visual Studio.net, because it allows you to administer your solution and all the projects and all the files that belong to that solution. There are probably some things that will be obvious, like your ability to roll up projects using the Solution Explorer, and to look at each of the individual files and references within the Solution Explorer. And notice that they each have icons that represent the type of file that they are. For example, you can see here that this represents the global.asax file, a special type of file used in ASP.NET applications. You can also see the web.config, another special type of file. Any type of .config files will have this icon. Web forms will have this yellowish looking page icon. Style sheets will have this A type icon, and so on. We could take a look at the many different types of icons. There's probably dozens of them. But the most important thing to note is that you can add new projects to your solution, as we learned in the last video, by going Add New Project, or you can select an existing project. Now, within a given project, you'll see that when you select a file, there will be different things you can do. For example, when you select the project file, the icons that are in the Solution Explorer are your option to refresh the project, to copy the project, or to show all files. I recommend that you show all files because in many cases, especially within ASP.NET applications, you have what are termed as code behinds. And so, for example, a web form ASPX may have an actual code file that handles all the events for that file, called webform1.aspx.vb in the case of a VB application. The last button that we'll take a look at from a project perspective is the Properties button that will pop open the property pages for our project. Now, we'll talk about this dialog in a future video, but what happens if we select a form instead of the project file? You'll notice that we get two additional buttons. If we select the View Designer, what we'll see is the actual design surface that we can drag and drop server controls onto here in the main area. Or we can select the View Code button, which will actually show us the code from the code behind for webform1.aspx. Also in this video, I want to show you the pop-up menus that you get when you right-click any of the items that are within the Solution Explorer. For example, when you right-click the web form, you'll see a pop-up menu that's specific to that type of file. In this case, what I'll be able to do is view a web form in a browser, or to build that form and browse it, or I can even select some of the other types of things that you can do, like View Code and View Designer, which are exclusive to that type of file. And you have the same type of options whenever you select a project file, except they are specific to projects. For example, build and rebuild the project, or the ability to add new files or new items to the project, to add references or web references, to set as a startup project within the solution, and to save it and to do other things like that. Rather than to go in and explain each of these options here, we will cover every single one of them during the course of future videos. Finally, we'll take a look at the pop-up menu for the solution itself, which enables you to build a solution or rebuild it, to access the Configuration Manager, which allows you to establish different types of configurations for the purpose of deployment. And we'll talk about that at a future point in time. It also allows you to set project dependencies and the build order for deployment as well. It'll also, as we noted earlier, allow you to add new projects or existing projects, or add new items to the solution. To set the startup project, which pops open a solution property page, we'll talk about that in a future video, and to also start debugging process to save the solution and source control. And again, all of these will be covered in future videos. We wanted to introduce in this video the Solution Explorer and the many different things that you can do with it. And we hope that we've succeeded in that regard and that you've learned just a little bit more about the Solution Explorer. Thank you.